Cameron, welcome back to Comic-Con.
Thanks so much. Thanks for having me.
What's it like to be here?
Oh, it's a blast. I grew up as quite a lonely nerd. I was bullied for liking comic books and stuff like that. So to be here to see all these people celebrating this thing that we love, it's awesome.
It's kind of hard to believe to see that you were, nerdy and bullied.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
Well, it wasn't great, but to be here now doing all of this, it really truly is a dream come true.
Yeah. And talking about your show, which is now in season 2, we're midway through, right?
Yeah.
Where are we now in the show?
Well, we're well underway with season 2. Hopefully people know by now and have seen that this is even more epic than it was before, because there's a massive cliffhanger. And episode 6 starts the run to the end, and it's got the biggest finish you'll ever really have seen from a DC television show, so we're very excited about it.
Yeah, you don't really see that often where in mid-season they kill off a major character.
Yeah.
So Lita's gone. Tell me about that.
Yeah, well, the decision to kill off Lyta was huge, and it's something that there are going to be massive ramifications all throughout the show because of this, and the story and the characters, and it really goes back to examining that our show is about consequence. This isn't one of those shows where everything gets put back in the toy box at the end of the episode and we start afresh. It's the characters have to live with the decisions that they've made. And similarly, the way she was killed was by Jax-Ur, who was the head of the rebellion, and typically we think in science fiction stories the Empire is evil and the rebellion are the good guys. But there are no good guys or bad guys in war. War is war, and horrible decisions get made, and compromises have to be made, and that was a thing we very much wanted to explore as well.
Yeah. How does Lyta's death affect the trajectory of the show?
Everything changes now. The show will never be the same. We've lost such a major character, and also a character who's very much at the center of the story and at the center of the emotional lives of a lot of characters. So Seg was deeply in love with Lyta. Lyta was the love of his life. General Zod, that was his mother, and he never really knew his mother. In his time, she was changed by the world, and the Lyta he got to know was completely different, and there was hope for both of them in that character for the future. And now she's gone, as well as a major military figure in Kandor on her own right. So for her to be gone is huge.
And were you shocked? What were you thinking when you read the script and you saw that?
It's sad. You never want to see it. It's because George is amazing. She's an amazing actor, and she's a dear friend of mine. And so to lose her and to see that was really sad, and it's sad in the world of the show too. And episode 6 was very cathartic for us to film because it's deeply emotional. And as much as the characters are moving on without Lyta, we're sort of moving on without George as well.
But do you think we might see her again? Because especially in this world, there's a lot of flashbacks or people coming back, and
There's a saying in comic books that no one stays dead. And what I will say is keep watching. It wouldn't be Krypton if there wasn't a massive twist.
And what can we see from Seg moving forward?
Well, as you will have seen in episode 6, he gets his son back. He finally is able to take Kor and Nyssa and escape with them, and you'll see a different side of Seg. You'll see Seg that as much as the mission matters to him, his family matters to him deeply as well, and he finally has something that means more to him than anything in the world. And in season 1, Seg was very much the last of the House of El, and now he realizes that there is a future for the House of El, and it's in this baby called Vex. So we get to see that side of him, which is completely different.
Obviously, you're a fan of this stuff as
very
well.
Much so, yeah.
So when you you obviously know how this will end. How will fans feel at the finale of season 2?
Gosh, it's so hard to say because the ending is just massive, and I really hope that they'll be on the edge of their seats. I think it's exciting, it's bold, it's tragic, but I also think when they see where we're taking this, they'll be very, very excited for the future of Krypton as well.
And the cool thing about comics and this show in particular, it's not just about the high action and obviously the fight scenes and stuff is fun, but there's a lot of undertones about love and justice and relationships. Tell me a bit about the underlying stuff.
Very much so. Well, our show is primarily a science fiction show. That's the way we sort of always thought of ourselves. And yes, this is the DC universe, and there are superpowers and aliens and monsters, but that's not what science fiction is. Science fiction isn't about superpowers and aliens and monsters, and really neither are comic books. It's about relationships. It's about how we relate to each other. And this season we have commentary on dictatorships and totalitarianism and the cost of war. And really, so much of the core of this story is about family. Not only Superman's legacy and Superman's family, but relationship between General Zod and Seg and Leiter, and Seg and Nyssa and Corvex. This is about family relationships, because science fiction at the end of the day is about us. We need to see us. And it provides us a really awesome opportunity to tell a story that is epic and exciting and fun, whilst also hopefully showing the audience something of themselves as well.
That's a big part of like the Superman series too. How iconic is it for you, probably growing up watching it, reading the books, to be part of that family now?
Well, it's an honor. You know, there's a very, very small fraternity and sorority of people who've worn that symbol, and so to be a part of that as a fan, it means the whole world to me. And hopefully when an actor gets a job like this, they understand that it's not like any other job, that these are characters that mean so much to millions of people all over the world. When I felt lonely as a kid, I read Superman books. So not only is that the case, and it should be the case to any actor, but for me as a fan, it's doubly so.
Want more extra? Hit the subscribe button and the bell and never miss a video.